Chapter 843! Sanji Vinsmoke! Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of the Pod-D-Cast. With me, your best friend, the bestie boy, and my best friend, the Hippocrit.
Not your best friend, though.
No?
No.
If you say so.
No, I mean, I'm talking to the audience. I'm your best friend, but they're not my best friend. I'm not.
Right, of course.
I forget it.
The world's best friend.
Didn't work. Abort, delete.
No matter. I got real sad, that's all. Okay, let's move on. New chapter, chapter 843, Vinsmoke Sanji.
Yes.
So, all right, let's just fucking get right into it.
Starting right from the end of the last one, Cracker's flying through the air, smashing through trees, the back of the throats of these trees.
Which is horrific. Again, this was the most visceral we've seen of the homies being clearly murdered and dying.
Yeah.
It was horrible. It was a holocaust, once again.
I did wonder, because of the expression on this one tree, whether they feel pain, because...
That guy is feeling it. I can see in his eyes the pain and terror of this moment, his final moment of life. That should be my opening image, because frankly, it's just so horrifying. It's too much.
The thing is that behind it is one of the mountains or one of the hills also got smashed in two, and he seems happy about it. So I guess he's probably, maybe, I don't know.
Oh, maybe he didn't process. He didn't see it coming because he's a hill. He was over there. He's like, what's gonna hit me? Whoa! And on the far left, do you see that super smug looking hill all the way on the left of that panel? What a smug piece of shit.
I think he's gonna get hit next. That's the.
I hope so. He deserves it.
Yeah, because there's the tower there gets smashed. What happens?
Oh my god.
So there's...
Yeah,
there's a lot of... Mama's getting all the captains together for something.
The commanders.
The commanders and...
Who, by the way, are named Lord Katakuri, which means potato starch, which I don't know what that is, and Lord Smoothie. These are their most powerful guys. A biscuit boy, a starch guy, and a smoothie man. Cool stuff.
So, lovely picnic food guys. And then
yep.
Cracker smashes through the building, and then we see three of the other, ministers.
Yeah.
So
God, I love this whole family. They're all so cool.
So the Minister of Cheese, Charlotte Mondor, Mistress of Butter, Charlotte Galette.
That's extremely sexy.
Yeah.
I would have sex with that slippery woman. She looks normal, but she's greased up. All right, who's the last one?
There's like a slippy slidey battle with her and Alvida.
Oh my god, that's the sexiest thing I've ever heard! Okay. Oh, wow. Holy shit! I want that!
And then the least sexy thing ever, the Minister of Whipped Cream.
He's covered in jizz. That's why they call him Whipped Cream, because it would be impolite to call him the Minister of Jizz.
Yes, we have all the food groups accounted for, including jizz.
Butter, cheese, and jizz, yeah. These are like the dairy boys over here. They're all about that shit.
Yeah. Oh, maybe that's why. I didn't even process that.
They all hang out on like Dairy Island together. Maybe. I don't know. That'd be cool.
So, they're all going, whoa, something's happened, and...
Mm-hmm.
They
have seen Cracker is here. He landed in front of them, defeated. So they know, holy shit, there is someone here who can defeat Cracker. And I think they said he's their strongest dude.
Did they?
Or at least one of the three. At least, obviously, one of the three. And so they know we are on red alert. This guy has been beaten up. That is an extremely rare thing. And so now, like, Whole Cake Island is alert. That, holy fuck.
Red alert.
There is a threat attacking. Yeah. They're freaking out. Understandably. So things have changed officially now that Luffy's beaten this guy. This is a big deal.
And what happens next? There's the dad guy. He explains something about something.
Oh, let me go into this. This is by far the best part of the chapter. Okay, so Pound, Lola's dad, who's, on the Straw Hat side right now, explains the ramifications of what they have just done. So he saw Cracker fly off into town, and he knows that they have been alerted. The Big Mom Pirates are now alerted to a threat being there, and that it was able to defeat Cracker. So he's like, guys, you need to understand how serious this shit is. And so he tells a couple stories. The first one is that recently, and by the way, this is the 4th name. This is the defeated Commander Snack, which is, man. So we got like milkshake, fucking butter, whipped cream, and then Snack. He's just Snacks. That's a very broad.
Those 3 were ministers. Commanders, I think, are the higher ups.
Oh, right. It was right. But the commanders
Commander
were biscuits.
Cracker is like one of the biggest, and then the ministers are below him, I think.
I'm just saying, it's interesting to me that there's Biscuit, or Commander Biscuit, Commander Smoothie, and Commander Potato Starch. And then there's Commander Snack. I'm just saying, one is way broader than the others, which I suspect is going to be relevant. But whatever, we'll see. That guy's got to show up, of course. Of course he's going to show up. Anyway, he talks about how when he was defeated recently, Cracker's troops were sent on ships to go deal with the whoever did it, and Big Mom herself created a storm, which was the manifestation of her rage, and in the blink of an eye, they defeated the enemy. So then he goes on to explain in a little more detail what exactly happened, and talks about the best thing about the chapter. So Big Mom has 2 homies. Her left hand has Zeus the Thundercloud, and her right hand has Prometheus the Sun.
Well, hang on.
With those two,
are they homies, or because he says Linlin is a woman with the ability to control and manipulate weather.
Well, I'll tell you. I mean, okay, it is slightly speculation, but we have seen, cloud homies. We've even seen a sun homie at one point. I don't know how that works, but yeah, we've seen a bunch of homies of things that are kind of weird. So, I mean, to me, this is telling me that Big Mom has created 2 god-level homies. One is she gave life to a thundercloud, Zeus, and controls it, and it is... I'm not sure she has 100% control over her homies, because they had to do what Nami was telling her to do, but then again, that's because she was part of Big Mom. She's got Big Mom's soul, whatever. She clearly is in control of these guys to some degree. So she's got a thundercloud, which can make giant storms, and a fucking sun. A fucking sun shooting fire everywhere. So now what we're learning is, I remember when I was saying a while back that, what did we really see Big Mom do? Like, how is she deserving of the title of Yonko? And yes, her life-giving powers can change like the entire ecosystem of a place, but compared to the destructive power of someone like Whitebeard, seemed a bit lacking. But with something like this, and this is so brilliant, the idea of making these like gigantic, threatening, big homie dudes who can destroy a fucking fleet instantly with like thunder and fire raining from the sky. Now I'm starting to get why she is considered such a fucking destructive force.
Although,
this makes sense.
One thing that I'm thinking is there's a little bit more of an explanation of, not an explanation, but the tree guy talks about how they literally can't go against Nami with the paper. And then now it's like talking about Linlin can control, manipulate weather, and Nami is a weather person. I don't like how this is going, but I think Nami is going to somehow stop Big Mom instead of Luffy.
I will be okay if Nami is able to make some small resistance, possibly even an extremely meaningful one.
Yeah.
But put up some small resistance.
I mean, it's
to
not that
Big
I don't
Mom's
like
godlike
it. It's just
overpowers.
that, like we were talking a few chapters ago, Nami never makes any mistakes, and if she just suddenly is like the coolest guy here, I wouldn't be too upset with it. It would be different.
You know, she does sometimes make little mistakes, but nothing of consequence that enriches her character.
But that's
but I see what you're saying.
It going. Like Nami usually is not the one to save the day, and she might be the one here.
They specifically talked about weather, and frankly, weather is all Nami has going for her, just as a character, except being a god-level navigator, but that kind of involves the weather. And also, it was interesting how they specifically pointed out, King Baum, Tree Boy, specifically said, it is so crazy that you have a Biblicard of Big Mom, because not even her children are allowed to have those things.
Well,
so that kind of... Yeah.
Well, how did Lola get one then?
Well, that's the mystery. I mean, I might have misread that, but I was pretty... Okay,
I think maybe
even her own children are prohibited from carrying one around. So what this is telling me is that Lola, in fact, there's a bit more character to Lola that we're learning about right now, because she must have stolen that, or, in some way smuggled that out of there, and chose to give it to Nami, and this thing is valuable, because this makes you a god in Totland. Because you can command the homies and have them do whatever you want. So this is no joke that Lola has this thing and gave it to Nami. This is serious shit. So I think this is pretty cool. This is enriching a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, the point is, we have now learned why Big Mom is deserving of the title of Yonko and is such a physical threat. I mean, you can be a political threat, and that's totally cool, and I like that. And in fact, I really love how Big Mom herself is involved in, like, the economy and ecosystem of Totland. But when it comes to, like, being able to stand up, like, how does she protect her empire? Now we know. Yeah. Now we know. It's with this shit.
When I read this first, I wasn't, like, I didn't assume that they were homies. I just assumed, like, we were misinformed as to what her devil fruit power was, and it was actually about weather. And she has, like, some other, like, I don't know, maybe a science thing or something that makes the homies, but I'm not sure.
What do you mean? Did you think that, because, I mean, once we learned that she had the soul fruit.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Pretty much a done deal.
If they said the soul fruit, then it's pretty much confirmed. I just forgot about that.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, that is what it was. So to me, it seems pretty clear that's what's going to be. And you know what I actually really love about them? I love so much that the way they're depicted in the little description King Baum gives, where they're like, or not King Baum, but where Pound gives, of like, they've got these really evil faces and like they're raining death from the sky. And the fact that they're given names means they're real characters. They're gonna be in the story, and they're gonna have personalities, and I can't wait to see him. I feel like King Baum, the tree boy, is like he's the only homie who's had much of a presence so far. I feel like his character introduction was to kind of introduce us to how homies work, so that when we get to meet those guys who really matter, we're gonna have like an understanding of it. So I'm real excited.
Also, what I'm thinking, the fact that like the homies are made by the souls of like giving people, just normal random citizens giving up their souls. So a normal, some guy will become a tree, but like if it's someone really important, it would become someone like Prometheus or Zeus. So maybe I'm so just kind of like speculation, but I think Zeus and Prometheus may have been like souls of people Big Mom knew, or some of her crew. Something. So
you're kind of thinking of it like Gekko Moriya's shadows almost, where they had like the power and abilities of the people that, I mean, not that they necessarily after that, but like Luffy's got a lot of life force. Maybe he'd have like a ton of soul or something.
Yeah.
I actually disagree. I don't, based on what I've seen so far, it just looks to me that like soul is more of a generic substance that you shove in something and it gets kind of a generic sort of life. I don't mean like they would have like the same sort of power. I'm just thinking like if it's like say for example if somebody died and their whole soul is gone instead of just part of it, then they could be brought back as a really powerful homie or something. Well, you know what? I will bet you, Hippocrit, that as we go along, we will learn, in fact, that my interpretation is correct and that yours is wrong. I'll bet you $1 American that this soul essence is a generic sort of thing.
I'll bet you 1 piece of 8.
Okay, done.
Because we're pirate
bet sealed and signed and sent to Davy Jones. Okay. Oh, so anyway, once that's done, we are now so like now we're headed to go meet up with Sanji.
Yeah. Well, they don't know that yet
before they get there, right? They're just headed in that direction. You know, that's their general goal. But on the way there, there's an interesting conversation Nami has into a piece of glass where she's communicating with Carrot and Chopper, and it sounds like some shit is going down. And as she's just talking to them, something bad seems to happen, and the mirror shatters, and now she can't communicate through it anymore. So that seems possibly important, maybe at least interesting. What the fuck is happening to those guys?
I think what it was just doing is establishing that they can communicate like that through the mirrors, and Brule is still chasing them. So
okay.
I don't know what it really means. Whether they're having a hard time. I think it was just played up for laughs that they were getting like screaming.
I hope so. I'm concerned. I'm deeply concerned.
I do want to see also, what it leads to, though.
Me too. Also, Luffy's thin again.
Just like I don't know whether either of us said it, but I assumed like Gear 4 would have like made it so that it just takes a nap and then it's back to normal.
Well, they didn't. I don't know. Did they imply that yes, he's a weird guy and he shrinks real fast? Well, was it specifically because of Gear 4?
I mean, maybe not Gear 4, but you know how like after he uses Gear 3 he goes really small?
Yeah.
I was just assuming it was going to be like that, like he would use up all the energy from the crackers.
But it took him like a while to shrink back down. You know?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of crack in his belly.
All right, well, whatever. We'll see. But then we get to why the chapter is called what it is, when, in fact, Luffy and the gang meet up with fucking Sanji. They see him in with his whole family in their fucking carriage, and Luffy just jumps in there and he's like, "What's up, dude? What's going on?" And it's crazy.
I kind of like that it happened so quick, but
me too. I'm glad we didn't fuck around. Though I was surprised. I thought getting to Sanji was going to be like a tough struggle, but nope. He's just on the road, and they found him. You know what I thought was interesting, by the way, before we get into the content of their conversation, was just that when Nami showed up, who, by the way, does look damn fine in this outfit. Really, once again, this is Top's Blueby outfit she's got on. All the Vinsmoke boys are big heart-eyed for her, just like Sanji is all the time. And that, though I noticed Judge is not, neither is Reiju, so it's not like the whole family does it. It's just, I mean, it makes sense Reiju wouldn't, I was presuming she's straight, but, I'm just saying, Judge doesn't, but all the kids do. So I was wondering, I was thinking about this. You know how I was saying before how Zeph's demeanor didn't really seem to match, so Zeph was all about be respectful to women, never hit them ever. It's not okay at all. Yeah. Have to be respectful. But Sanji is like that, but with like this other layer of how he is like obsessed with women. Like he's all up on their shit all the time, and he wants to touch them and, cook shit for them and all kinds of stuff. And to me, I'm just noticing that these guys look like they have the roughly equal like lust as Sanji does for women, but maybe don't share, and I hope don't share his chivalry, which is the unique thing that he learned from Zeph. So perhaps we'll see. Or I was just happy to see like all of them react the way Sanji does, like instinctively, but Sanji treats this intense lust in a he channels it through his chivalry that he learned from Zeph. So I'm saying this kind of explains why Zeph wasn't all lovey-dovey for chicks all the time, whereas Sanji was, even though he taught Sanji this like chivalry shit. So I'm just saying this is a little bit better than I had thought before. If these things, I like it.
I had assumed like that his brothers were like mean to women because of the way they treated that one chef lady.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So yeah, the fact that
maybe because she's a commoner. I mean, Nami's a war orphan. Maybe once they find that shit out, they're gonna be like, "Ew, gross, commoner slut. Don't like it. Get it away." Because Charlotte was pretty cute, and they beat her up anyway, or Shin, whatever her name was.
Shinji.
That other. Yeah. Whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Though I did think it was cool that Niji, Yonji both had hard eyes, which makes sense to me because they're both pretty laid back. But even Ichiji, who's like never been a very expressive guy, is all hearty, even though his face is turned away. Yeah. He's into that shit. But anyway, so Luffy is
jumps on
the
thing and he's like, "Hey, Sanji, how come back? Let's go." And then Sanji does. He's thinking about his arms, the bracelets on his arms that's going to blow up.
Wait, you skipped over my favorite thing in the my actual favorite thing in the whole chapter, which is when they're like, "Luffy, get off of our cat ridge," because there's a cat pulling their carriage. Yes.
Cat ridge, eh?
Cat ridge.
Didn't really catch
all right. You got to read all the time.
Okay.
This is great. 10 out of 10 writing. Genius. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, it was probably like a translation thing.
I'm sure the guys just made it up. Maybe there was a pun there, maybe not. I don't know. I didn't see the Ross.
Sanji's obviously he's just like Robin was. He doesn't know how to deal with Luffy wanting him to come back. He didn't want him to come get him. He wants to just fuck his life up because otherwise his hands and his real dad,
he's all like,
dad.
"Just fuck my life up, fam." To his actual family. He's saying that shit to his family. Okay, all right. Awesome. This, again, genius writing. Genius writing.
They worked that meme right in there.
Perfect. I want to see Sanji with the "just fuck my shit up" haircut now. All right. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, and then he does the big, impressive kick to Luffy to the face.
Yeah, it did look cool.
And he says, "Leave, you filthy lowly sea thugs, and fuck you." And he does the pretending that he likes the Germa Kingdom now, and trying to make them go away. I don't know why he does this, because he knows Luffy isn't going to listen. But I think
that's true. Remember that time that Robin tried this shit, Sanji? Remember that? Didn't work.
And it was...
oh, God, I love what Luffy said. I'm sorry, but I love what Luffy said to Robin at that time. Because Robin was standing with CP9 and she was like, go away. I don't want you to save me. I just want to die. Leave. I'm telling you, this is what I want. When they finally met up with her, she said that face to face. And Luffy said, fuck you, Robin. When I save you from them and you're standing with me, free to do whatever you want, you say those words to me then, and we'll see if you're still saying that shit. And of course, that breaks her, and she's like, I want to live! And it was the coolest thing that ever happened. Oh, it's so awesome! Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So he does a whole big, long, fuck you, I'm actually a prince the whole time, I fooled you, I've tricked you, it's all a prank, bro.
Yeah.
You know, my wife's beautiful, you get out of here, idiot. And obviously Luffy's getting mad. And I'm wondering if they're gonna fight right here, right now. Probably gonna try. Maybe,
I'll tell you,
maybe the other Vince Smokes are gonna stop Luffy or somehow.
Maybe. This bears a lot of similarities to the time when Zoro and Luffy fought on Whiskey Peak, when they got into a tuffle and threw some hands, you know, and some swords.
Yeah, I'm wondering, I don't think Luffy and Sanji have had a proper, like, actual fight like that.
Definitely not. I mean, Luffy's only ever fought Zoro that one time in Whiskey Peak, and that was due to a misunderstanding. And then also this time, or when he fought Usopp, of course, in Water 7, which was legit and was the coolest thing that ever happened. By the way, though, I mean, we haven't quite seen it yet, but if they fight, did I not totally call that Luffy and Sanji were going to fight? I totally called that shit. You're going to see it. It's going to happen.
Well,
Next
I mean,
chapter, probably.
It's not that hard to imagine. Like, Sanji... Sanji would probably not want to... He'd be resistant to leaving because of the things they have against him.
If I said that it was only okay to call things that were impressive or unlikely, then I would never call anything. Cut me some fucking slack.
Well, I'll call...
What do you want to do? Rob me of all my callings?
I'll call you on the phone and tell you... Fuck you.
I thought you were going to call me out on my weak-ass predictions. Okay, well, there was one other thing I wanted to talk about this, and it was just about the way this scene was structured. And as you said, Oda went real hard at, like, explaining all the reasons. Like, as Luffy's like, hey, Sanji, we found you. Come back home. Like, we're here to get you. Sanji, like, it flashes to, like, every possible reason why Sanji would not do that. Because it's like, oh, God, they're going to kill Zeph. Oh, God, they're going to blow off my hands. Oh, God, all the other fucking reasons that he's not doing it. They're going to beat up that nurse or that chef girl again. Whatever. It's like Oda went so far out of his way to make sure that nobody forgot that Sanji is doing this against his will. Please don't forget, he would never actually do this. This is a trick. This is not real. It's like I fucking get it, Oda. I fucking get it. He's not doing it.
I don't think that's a bad way to structure it. There's a couple panels that, you know, it zooms into his face all cool, and then there's a big kick with a whoa.
Well, I'll tell you this.
It's a nice looking page.
I felt like it was a waste of screen time because, well, my first thought was it was a waste of, like, manga panels because, like, we all know this. This happened, like, so recently that we learned all this shit. At least if he hadn't included that, we could have had a little bit of, like, oh, wow, does he mean it? Like, ooh, look how upset Nami is. Look how mad Luffy is. Maybe he changed his mind in the last, like, 2 chapters since we saw his horrific childhood flashback. Even though everyone knows, like, obviously he doesn't mean this. I just, like, I didn't feel... Okay, you know what? Maybe there is one other reason why Oda would have done this. And I was thinking about this before. And it's... Okay, so Oda has clearly shown... Viewers, he is doing this against his will. None of this is serious. He's only doing it to protect his friends and family and his hands, which are important to him. So, you know, don't take it. Oda is, like, saying that, just spelling it out. So that being the case, we don't ever really need to go back to that later. Because the only other way to do it is, like, it could be that sort of semi-mystery, like, ooh, did he really betray them? And then at the end, there would have to be, like, an establishment, like, thank God, he didn't betray them. But, like, he's just getting that out of the way up front. And in that way, it does kind of make sense, because, like, we know Sanji would not do this shit. It's obvious. Either way, it's obvious, you know?
I just think that, the way that it's structured, like, Luffy jumps in, he's taken aback, is like, whoa, what the fuck? And then, you know, Luffy's trying to explain to him everything that's going on, and his dad's just watching Sanji, I think, just seeing his reaction. I think the amount of time it takes, I think is worth. I mean, it warrants like a brief reflection of all the different things. So when he actually finally kicks Luffy in the face after it, like he skips over what he's saying, like he's talking about Zoro and Wano and Nami and Chopper and Brook and stuff, and he's not really listening to him. I don't know. I like the pacing of that. I don't feel like he's trying to make sure people know that Sanji wouldn't betray them, because it's pretty obvious to anyone that Sanji is not going to betray them. He's just, he's pretending. Even on the next page, at the bottom, you can see his lips quivering a bit as he's trying to pretend to be an asshole. You can see he's not really, he's not confident in his face. It's really subtle, actually. I like that face at the bottom.
What, you mean the one where he says, "Return to your ship in Gallivant in Rome"? Yeah. That shit?
That he's got that tiny little lips quivering. I don't know. It looks unconfident for him. It looks like he's not comfortable.
Okay, all right. I get it. He's just samurai, and he's like giving a pause while Sanji reflects, which I suppose makes sense. I just felt a little talked down to. Like, I get it. I know this. I really don't need it again. It's been so little time since we went over all this shit. But I see your point too. So it's not a major point against it. So we're spending more time on it than like it was an issue for me. But there was one other thing about that, and I was just thinking about. So these are all the reasons why Sanji, is not leaving. Why he's doing this. It's because for A, his hands are going to get blown off, and 2, like the crew will get killed, and 3. Zeph will be murdered. And I was just thinking, they can deal with the bracelets. There's real ways to deal with this whole bracelet situation. They could get off in a number of ways. There's a real way to establish that the Straw Hats don't need to worry about dying. I mean, that one's kind of dumb. Like they'll be fine. They're they're tough. They're strong. They'll figure that he can get over that. But the whole thing about Zeph being assassinated, there's really no way to like prove, unless Zeph fucking shows up, which I really hope he doesn't, because that would be cheesy in my opinion.
Well,
yeah, I mean, there's no way to establish that they don't have a fucking gun to his head right now and are just waiting to hear that, like,
I guess
he's in trouble.
There is no way to show that. There's no way to put a gun to his head. But I kind
of like that though, because what it means is that the only way that Sanji is going to like be able to walk away from that reason is if he, and this is what I thought he was going to do all along. He's going to look inside and think to himself, you know what? I'm living my life. I'm being a pirate on my own. It's not my responsibility to spend my whole life protecting, people like Zeph, who are he was a strong ass pirate. He's his own man. He chose to, release me to be a pirate boy, to go do my own thing. He would want me to trust him, that he can take care of himself. He wouldn't want me to live my whole life worried about what people are going to do to him. I think he's going to have that revelation, and then he's going to be like, you know what? Fuck yeah, Zeph, he's fine. I'm not worried about it.
I think he's going to have a slightly different revelation.
Yeah.
More about, like, just believing that Zeph can take care of himself and fuck you, I don't care, But
it's not I don't care. It's that I trust him. It's an
I trust
difference.
him. But like I don't care what you do. You can't beat him. He's cool. But also, somebody in the One Piece Reddit had a comment, and I read it. Cool. I was like, whoa, you might like this, Nate. The idea that since Jinbei is here, instead of joining the crew after this or during this or whatever, Jinbei could go back to East Blue to protect Zeph from whatever might happen to him.
I would like Jinbei to not be around.
Yeah, see, I knew you'd like that.
I do.
It gives him something important to do, but away from everyone.
That sounds... that'd be a great excuse for him to get the fuck out of here. Oh, I hope that happens. I really don't hate Jinbei. He's just kind of boring. So,
that seems to be the opinions of a lot of people. Yeah, I don't really agree yet, because he hasn't spent that much time on the ship with the crew, interacting with people, and
his arc is fucking done though. There is nothing new that's going to happen with Jinbei in the rest of the series. This is it. Yeah, and this is just tying up some loose ends. But like Brook is like. It's harsh to say, but Brook is like objectively the least interesting member of the crew, because like we know all his shit pretty much. Oh, you know what? We don't know about his childhood and being a like assault soldier in a kingdom, or like leading the striking squad. That is I would like to learn about that.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, day to day, he doesn't like do much other than just crack an occasional joke, which honestly he doesn't even do that much lately. So
yeah.
I'm just saying, like, Jinbei is so much less interesting than Brook, in my opinion, that adding him to the crew would only be baggage, in my opinion. Narrative baggage. We have to spend more time devoted to Jinbei shit, and I don't care. I don't want him around. So that's the reason for my position there.
I mean, Jinbei's already kind of been like a surrogate member of the crew. Is that the right word?
Yeah,
he's like sort of been in the crew, but he's never really been on the ship. He's just been helping doing other things.
And now that Dressrosa happened, there's the perfect position for Jinbei, which is as, like, you know, one of his allies. Like, allies are established for the Straw Hat Fleet now, or whatever, you know, they're buddies. So the Fishman Pirates would be a perfect addition in that sense. So that's what I want to have. If Luffy hadn't said, like, Jinbei should join my crew, I really wish he hadn't said that shit. Because now all the fanboys have been thinking for years, like, that means he's got to join. Every person he's wanted to join has joined, even though that's not quite true. There's been some characters who have not joined that he wanted to join.
Yeah, like the zombie trees on Thriller Bark.
Yeah. I wish one of them had joined. You know how Nami has trees on both the Going Merry and the Sunny.
And there's also that
trees,
weird guy
zombies.
with the green afro guy stuck in a treasure chest. He should have been on the crew.
Oh yeah, he should have joined. That's bullshit. He should have been there. God, I hope that guy's doing all right. He's a trooper.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, those were tangents, but nonetheless. So at the end, the next chapter, Sanji's gonna fight Luffy. Fucking guarantee it. It's not gonna be a long fight. It's gonna be a meme fight where they just goof around for a little bit, because none of them want to hurt each other, and it'll probably end when, like, the soldiers or, like, the brothers step in and, like, end that shit in some way.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm looking forward to it.
I feel like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how Luffy is going to save Sanji if all the brothers can just beat him up. So, like,
well, you know, they didn't really beat him up. They got him.
I mean, beat Luffy up. I mean,
yeah.
Like, if they can if they can do that, maybe if they can't do it, like, individually.
These bitches can't beat Luffy. They can't beat shit. These guys, all they've been doing is beating weak, like, characters thus far. We haven't seen them do shit.
Well,
they got a fucking easy punch on Sanji. They're jobbers in the making. It's gonna happen any second now.
Right, like, I know, but, like, after this chapter, or after, you know, the next chapter, if Sanji fights Luffy,
yeah,
you know, either Luffy wins or he doesn't. I don't know what would happen if he wouldn't win, because then it would be over. But how would he lose?
He could lose in the sense that he's not going to try to seriously injure Sanji, and Sanji might try to seriously injure Luffy because he's got higher things at stake right now. So, you know, it's possible.
Or, like, because his dad's watching and he has to give, like, a killing blow.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be anything particularly serious, to be honest. These reasons are going to be pretty... I don't know. I don't know. I think we'll move past it fast. That's what I think.
Okay.
But we're just speculating now, so we'll see next week when the chapter comes out, and it'll be great. 10 out of 10. All right. Anything else to say? Any other points?
No.
I thought it was cute when Sanji thought back to the happy times with the crew.
Yes,
that's what I liked that. Okay, anyway, we're done. Thanks for listening, everybody. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. There's a chapter, which is probably next week, but you can never know for sure. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.